You guys are the big players here. You're actually the big guys, aren't you?
We're the go-to headwear brand for all the sports retailers in Australia now. So,
wow. How many headpieces do you think you sell?
I'd like to think there's a good 6 figures out there worth of hats roaming around the world.
The funny thing is, most of the time people are talking about ad spend and Facebook ads or TikTok. What's the next digital marketing trend where we can leverage attention and everything like that? And honestly, you're pretty much the first brand or person I've come across in the e-commerce space that isn't even hardly any focus on it. Zero focus on that. Your focus is completely on this community. Hey there, I'm Ty, one of the founders of MonsterUpsells. And look, we have a Shopify app that increases your average order value without devaluing your brand with spammy offers and heavy discounts. You check that out if that's something that you'd be into. I'll also let you know we've got an e-commerce marketing Facebook group. I'm going to put links to both of these things down below. But we're here today because Matty Nuta is here. Woo! Welcome, bro.
Yeah, hey Ty. No, good to see you, mate.
Yeah, good to see you too, man. Look, I'll just do a little intro about you guys. Yourself, so everyone knows who you are. Today, look, Matt's a lifelong friend of mine. I think we went to preschool together.
Yeah, I was talking to someone about this the other day. I'm one of like 6 kids that went from preschool to 12 together. So
far out, man. We went to preschool all the way through to grade 12. That's just crazy. That's a lifetime ago, man. Awesome. So Matt's gone and built Fractel, an e-commerce sport apparel brand that's turning over around $60,000 a month, which is very sizable. Honestly, that's awesome, man. I'm super proud of you. That's epic.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, it's still, it's hard to get my head around. I didn't expect that on day one anyway.
Numbers, man. When money's going in and out, your brain just it becomes almost nothing. It's like bank accounts going in and out, just turning over.
Very different to my personal bank account. It's just like you got to look at it. Yeah, 2 different things.
Oh, I love it. Matt's actually mastered the art of leveraging partnerships, like strategic partnerships, in a way that I haven't really seen anyone doing in e-commerce, which is really cool. And I thought it'd be able to bring some value to people watching this. If you're kind of struggling through, I guess, the 2022 landscape of digital marketing, where the ads have skyrocketed and craziness is just happening everywhere. And a lot of businesses are struggling, and Matt's been able to kind of break through, and he's got this strategy that is just working for him. I just thought we'd just get it out there today. This interview is also going to be a little bit different because I want to jump in at the end and do some optimization tips and tweaks on Matt's site. He's allowing me to do this open and publicly. I just wanted to... Yeah. We'll just go through quickly at the end, and I'll just try and give you some pointers and tips on how to make your site convert better. Cool. Let's get stuck into it, man. I'd love for you to share a quick overview of Fractel, how it was born, like Fractel. What is that name? Where'd that come from? And also I just found out that you only recently were able to jump in full time as a member, for your business, as an employee. Yeah. Can you just give us a quick overview of that entire story? It's probably a few years worth of story condensed.
Yeah. Oh man, what a ride. Yes, it was probably 4 years ago now. I spent the last 10 years working as an engineering surveyor, very complete different industry. So I brought no skills to the table, but I brought a lot of passion. I've always been interested in running. And then I had a medical condition come across where I lost my driver's license. And from there, I was sort of forced to commute everywhere. And so my love of running, I guess, grew. And then being out in the sun here in Southeast Queensland all the time, I was like, I need to wear a hat. And I couldn't find a good hat that I wanted to wear that sort of was that blend between performance and style, I suppose, something that I could wear at the cafe, something I could wear on the run. And then I had a good mate who was one of the retail owners here on the Sunshine Coast, and I sort of spoke to him and thought, is there a space here, or what's the go? And then a few months worth of trial and error with some product prototypes and stuff like that. And then about 6 months down the track, we brought out a black and a white hat, 100 pieces of each. I'll never forget. And took probably another 6 months to sell 200 black and white ones, and then
how was the first cha-ching? Did you hear the cha-ching on Shopify when your first sale came through?
Yeah, it was it sort of just embedded in my brain. It was such a cool moment to think someone in that big wide world wanted to buy that hat and paid money for it. It's just crazy. So but I guess actually, sorry to answer your first question, the name's quite important to me as well, because being a bit of a maths nerd, once upon a time, Fractel, spelt with an A at the end instead of the E, which we have, is a mathematical term. So fractal are a form of like a type of pattern. And so the whole idea in our logo, our little symbol, is the start of a fractal pattern. So it's like with one idea, there are infinite possibilities. Fractals are found in nature, like palms, rivers, trees, like they're all forms of fractal patterns. So I couldn't buy the Fractel with an A domain, so I had to take the A out and put the E in the end there, and then that was our brand. So
wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. It just ties everything together. And then I suppose over the last 3 years, we've organically, no outside investment, just day by day grinding away, and then just have been able to build to the point where the last 12 months juggling essentially 2 full-time jobs just became a bit silly. And I had the hard chat with my wife, and I said, hey, let's have a crack at this. We're in a really good position. I want to dive in full-time next year. So I hit my long service leave at my previous job, and once that sort of formed the transition period, and then this year it's been full steam ahead Fractel.
Good on you, man. Taking that leap, it wouldn't have felt. I did talk to a lot of people about this. There's this point in time where you literally I'm all in. I'm doing this.
It was crazy. Like, I don't know. Like I work for a small business. There's like 4 or 5 of us there. I've been under the same boss since I graduated uni. It was pretty challenging even just to have that conversation with him and him look at me like, you serious? Like, you're gonna actually have a crack? So and just said, well, what have I got to lose? I can go back. Worst case scenario, I'll pick up some new skills. Who knows? Put all in.
What have you got to lose? That's a key phrase right there. Someone might need to hear that right now.
Honestly, like, I don't know. There'll probably be a few cliches come out, but it's if you don't do it now, you're not. If I don't have a crack now, this is like the moment, and I'll lose the opportunity, and kids will grow up, and I won't get the opportunity again. So
I love it, man. I love it. Matt and I have kind of just recovered from kids' sicknesses and families dealing with COVID and viruses and everything like that. I want to talk to you a bit about juggling that kind of stuff a bit later on, because I probably need some advice there too.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a juggling act, right?
Cool. Oh, well, so your main product you sell is hats, right? Performance hats. You sell hats. What makes you different? Like, how are you breaking into a market that is probably one of the most saturated markets in the world? It's a hat. Like,
it is a hat, but I don't know. The question we sort of asked ourselves was, how many of these big brands, your Nikes and etc., are focused on their hat? And there is next to none. And they make them, and a lot of people buy them, but there was a huge market there for someone who was willing to focus on the one product and do it right. So we found a simple product and then made it as good as it could be, and came up with a community-orientated story. Well, not came up with it, like we are a community-orientated brand, and tied that into a really valuable, like a quality product. And being a runner myself, I knew if I liked it, there's got to be other people out there that found value in the product. And we just sort of snowballed. And we still only, we're in the headwear space still, but there's so much still to do in here. We're building that reputation on making a quality product in this niche. But one day, sure, we might bring out some other apparel, but why reinvent the wheel when what we're doing is working, and we're sort of building that reputation of what we're doing.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Where would you say your hat? There's competition out there, obviously, and you've mainly delved into the Australian market, right?
Yeah, we're around the world now, but Australian market is definitely our main market. Yes.
Yep. And would you say like you're a big player now in the Australian market space, or?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I don't think we would exist if we weren't. So
That's awesome.
we're I guess the go-to headwear brand for all the sports retailers in Australia now. So
Wow.
We're running specialty retailers, definitely. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. How many headpieces do you think you sell? Have you got a number, or you got customers that like a number for how many you've sold, or?
I don't know. I'd like to think there's a good 6 figures out there worth of hats roaming around the world.
Woohoo! Oh, dude, that is so cool. It's super exciting. That's epic, man. And you were talking about before the community aspect. I've actually pretty much anyone who is doing well right now that I've spoken to, I'm sure there's others out there, they've all brought into the conversation community. Community, or find your people, or in just different ways they're doing it. And you spoke about communities before. What's the unique, you've actually already told me this, so I just want to get it out there. Like, can you please delve into like your strategy on how you're feeding communities, big, like your overarching Fractel community, but then also you go into smaller communities as well, you're helping them grow, or?
Yeah, it is a bit of a buzzword, and every brand uses it and doesn't always actually care about the community. But we, from day one, I think I might have told you actually, before we even brought out the product, I think I had a social media page running for minimum 3 to 4 months. I think in that whole prototype phase, and with no images showing any potential products coming, it was all community building. So we had a bit of a base before we brought out product one. And so we set up a blog from the start, and sort of our slogan is why we run. So for most of us, running goes deeper than just beating the clock. So I run because for mental health, and I'm sure a lot of other people do. For fitness, obviously.
Yeah, wow.
Like so I figured we all have a reason why. Like, what's your why? So we created a blog around and interviews around that, and getting people I started really locally, just on Sunshine Coast, Brisbane, just would reach out to people I knew, and then just cold direct messaging through Instagram and said, hey, would you be interested in contributing to our blog? Share some thoughts on some of the reasons why you do what you do. And that really was a very organic community building aspect at the start, because they'd share it on their page and it was free. It was the easy form of advertising, and that built trust, and that built an Australian community. That we've tried to keep that going still, but we've sort of expanded on it. But we still do the odd while we run posts where we can connect with people that way. So
it sounds like you went like. The funny thing is, most of the time people are talking about ad spend and Facebook ads or TikTok. What's the next digital marketing trend where we can leverage attention and everything like that? And honestly, you're pretty much the first brand or person I've come across in the e-commerce space that isn't even hardly any focus on it. Zero focus on that. Your focus is completely on this community. You probably can tell me some other things that you might be focused on, but it's just not in that digital marketing. How do we hack attention and bring it in? You're starting to kind of do it now. You're trying to get a bit more into that space.
Yeah, I guess especially now, because we're trying to do the same thing in the other 4 corners of the globe. So how do we transfer our reputation and community to those areas when they've never come across us? So that's sort of like, okay, we're at a point where we're growing. We need to, tap into these other attention-seeking, ideas, or that sort of style. But at the same time, still keep it as what worked here in Australia. So we've got to try and we're trying to be a bigger brand without being a big brand.
You talked about the strategy you're using, direct message Instagram to the community or to a person. Like, that's grunt work. That's Matt sitting at home going.
It's a job that like still 4 years in, like I'm still doing it. And I probably shouldn't be, I don't know, but at night on the couch, probably should be switching off, but I can't help myself. And it'll be like, who's the next blog? I need to find them. Running clubs, I think we might touch on it later, but one of our revenue streams is custom design. So for a while there, there's a million clubs online, and I would just message them and say, hey, I'll send you a couple of hats for your crew as a prize or something, and then just letting you know we do custom hats as well if you guys are ever interested. So that's how it sort of got started as well.
Wow, this is so interesting. So it's like your marketing channel is literally direct response marketing, but it's direct response to people's Instagram inboxes.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips on how to get people to open them? That's the other thing, because I've actually done a lot of Instagram reach outs, normally to influencers, trying to get their attention for either a partnership or a deal or something like that. And I do struggle. How do you get them to bite? Talking pretty practical. You've only got anyone who hasn't used Instagram DMs, you've got almost 6 words, right?
Actually.
You've only got 6 words for them to actually click, for you to actually get their attention and to click.
Well, I guess perhaps the people that I'm messaging aren't as high profile as you think, and they're excited to get the message. I'm not to be honest, we don't email, we don't direct message high profile pages or anything that would come across as, hey, we're trying to get our product out there and be a bit spammy. It's people that either know us already, there's a good chance they follow us. That's probably the first thing. But if it's someone completely random, I'm sure there's probably been some messages that haven't been read, but at the end of the day, if they don't want to deal with us, we don't want to deal with them. That's fine. So there's no real big hitter catchphrase. It's just I'm pretty straight to the point and just offering them something normally, and invite them to contribute to our blog, or invite them to share a delivery address for a sample. Well, things like that.
Oh wow, awesome, man! I kudos, bro. All heart goes out to you. It's a tough gig. I've definitely done my direct response. Well, my messaging to many people, and just getting turned down. It's just a numbers game, really, right?
Essentially, You send out 100, get back 10.
Yeah. Oh, 10. That's a pretty good response. That's awesome, man. Okay. So micro influencers in a way, or you're better off going after the micro guys to kind of build community from ground up in a way. Is there a reason why you're not going for the bigger kind of?
Well, to be honest, 4 years in, we don't have an ambassador program or any, I've really struggled to call people ambassadors or just build that out. We're sort of looking at it now for the first time in Europe, but I've sort of reached out to people that I've ensured that they have dealt with us before, they've engaged or they've tried our products. So I know they're not getting something for free. Pet Hate is giving stuff out for free to people that are just asking for it. We're definitely on the micro scale, because the majority of the bigger pages, I just feel they just come across a bit spammy, and they're going to charge us. Everyone's looking for a buck or something like that at the moment. We've never been
probably not as authentic, right?
Not as authentic. Yeah, exactly. And that's always been far from the style we've gone for. So I'd rather give 5 hats to a running group and let them disperse them without the group, within the group or something like that, rather than going to a single person with 10,000 plus followers and saying, hey, wear my hat, take a photo of it. If they like the hat's on their head automatically, and it's the best product to sell itself, because they take a selfie or whatever, it's already on their head, it's in the frame. So I don't want to never wanted to force anything on people and have a deal where it's like, we'll send you this and you send us that. It's just very you do what you want, and if you like it, you'll wear it. If you don't, well, you're the wrong person.
It's also clever. You send a few hats, right, to a community or a team or something like that. You only send 4 or 5 hats, and they've got to disperse it in their team. There's going to be some people missing out, And and it's I'm missing out. Where do I get one of those hats?
Well, exactly. And we're not the one making the tough decision then. It's like, you guys can sort it out, and they'll come back to us if they want some more.
That's a good strategy that kind of just, I love that. So guys, if you look for your mini communities, if you can, I don't know what kind of products are out there. Definitely go for that. I come across a lot of like clothing brands or even brands like yourselves, like hats or candles or whatever, like just brands. And they don't have any unique selling proposition, or they don't have something tied to it in a way. And it's like you've gone the performance route, but I love that you've just tied a community aspect to an actual physical product. Like seriously, everyone needs to start doing this. I love it.
Yeah, like you got to be careful that it doesn't override your product, obviously. But which is something, like you can get too much one way and too much the other way, I suppose. So finding that balance is actually probably the key.
Yeah, awesome. How did you stumble upon this kind of strategy?
Once again, I don't want to. I had no experience. I'm not a big, I don't use social media personally, because I guess I'm on it all the time for Fractel now. But that was how we built it on day one. I created the page, and then it was working. So I didn't really know of any other ways. We didn't have money to pay for Facebook ads on day one. It seems like the easiest way to reach people, and I don't see any reason to not still do it. We sort of just stumbled across it because it was our only option. We didn't come in with $50,000 to launch a business and invest 25% of that on advertising. It was like, hey, we got some hats, let's try and get it out there.
I think a lot of people struggle for I guess being resourceful, which is what I'd call you. I'd call you as one of your skill sets is just being resourceful with what you've got. It's amazing what you've been able to do. But the other cool thing is you've actually, maybe unintentionally, but you've really focused on this one strategy in this channel. Whereas especially brands that start going into the advertising space, Facebook and everything, they're just always chasing. They're always chasing, oh, where can I get leverage? Where can I get attention? And it's literally a money hungry pit that it doesn't get smaller and narrower to find your lane. It actually gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger the more that you know. Can you speak into that? Like I guess it's the power of focusing on something that's already working.
Yeah, I think, like, don't get me wrong, maybe a year, 12 months in or something like that, we did start trickling in learnt about Facebook ads or Instagram ads. And, it was only $10 a day or something like that we're throwing in there. And once again, very hard to measure. I guess that's the key thing, was this channel's direct messaging channel was easy to measure to some degree, because you sort of got an upfront answer, whereas obviously through Facebook it's a little bit trickier, especially getting started. So but as we grow, we've invested more into the Facebook marketing and things like that, but it's still a bit of a minefield for us. Like we put up the other day to try and get a bit of guidance as to we're dropping X dollars a week, and then is it actually working? Are we doing it the right way? So that's probably, for us to work overseas, that's going to have to transition to be your main channel. But at the same time, keep doing what we're doing on a more organic base. Yeah,
I reckon you should just keep leaning into it, man. If it works, hopefully it works overseas as well. Because I don't know anyone else is really going hard at that.
No, just need to find some people to do it for me. To help out. I'm sure there'll be someone out there that's happy to jump on direct messages.
Yeah, look at onlinejobs.ph. I've started looking in there to some VAs. There's some really smart people on there. I definitely recommend it. Onlinejobs.ph. It's Philippines, so it's our time zones. But you'd be surprised how many really smart people over in the Philippines that have actually done similar stuff. Definitely recommend checking it out, bro. That's just a little
side tip.
Give it a go, man. Are there any pivotal decisions looking backwards? How long? Been in 4 years, was it? 4 years into Fractel now? Is there any pivotal decisions looking backwards that have made an exponential impact on your business today that you can just come to top of mind?
exponential. I don't think we've exactly experienced that sort of growth, but definitely offering our custom program, like sort of building that, like, which isn't for everyone, but that's sort of like, that was never our intention, and sort of creating this separate revenue stream, because people coming to us and they like the product and they said, oh, hey, we've got a club, team, store, cafe, brewery that want to make X amount because they all like their logos on the hat. And at the start we said, oh, look, sorry, we don't do that at the moment, but got us thinking. And then it was like this whole new channel, and that's been our big growth point. That's got us to where we are today, because A, it's profitable. B, it's not too much maintenance from our end. Like, you create a design, you send it off, it's made. And then C, you've got, say our minimum order is 35. That's 35 hats coming back to a running club or a sporting group or a brewery or whatever. They're all wearing the hat, and there's a chance that they'll go back and buy. Like, it's easy. They're paying for our marketing. So it's been a huge win, and that is trickling through. Like, that's grown really quickly here in Australia.
Wow.
And that's starting to pick up overseas, just through social media. Other clubs and stuff see, we just made, like, last week, just a couple of breweries and a running club, like, just in the UK, out of nowhere, they just email you and they say, hey, can we do this? And so it's quite straightforward. And I think that's been it came to us. We were quite fortunate that they triggered the idea with us, but saying yes to that and sort of deviating from what we thought we're going to be doing was a big turning point.
Yeah, wow. It's like a nice little pivot there. But then also you pivoted, but you've also stayed your lane too. Like, you're still doing your clubs, and it's just a product that may have I guess suited the clubs better than what you were doing originally. Yeah,
it's essentially, it's exactly the same product. We just sort of, our branding's still on there. It's just letting them have the option to customize how they want. So it builds a relationship. You get to network with the owner of the club or whatever it is, and then dive into their community.
I guess you've had the advantage because you're close to your customer right now. You're really close, and I'm sure there's like other businesses who the business owner would probably struggle to be getting those that kind of feedback. But definitely encourage business owners, if you can. I don't know what it is, but try and get close to the pulse of your customers if possible. Definitely.
Well, yeah, like, just on the weekend, we're down on the Gold Coast with our little stand set up at a local running event. Like, you're never too big to meet and greet and share your story. It's also like that stuff, being at a stand, like, that might not be profitable on the day, but it's what comes from it. Would you say that's kind of, it's like flowing? That's right. Not everyone's doesn't go there to go shopping. They're there to run a race or something like that. But the amount of people that have seen us online and then appreciate the fact that there's a real person behind there, and then they're surprised to hear that the founder and the co-owner is standing in the same tent. It's like, oh, yeah, it's your business, and you get to start having a chat. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome, man. Is there anything that you wish someone told you 3.5 years ago? So you're 6 months in. Advice to yourself, or someone speaking into your world 3.5 years ago. What do you wish someone would have told you?
Be willing to do a lot of hard work. That's the obvious one. Commitment. And anyone asks, I just say, be committed and show up every day. And the other thing is also learning when to say no. That was an interesting thing, because once we started building some traction, it's very easy to ruin the brand. You can ruin the brand overnight by saying yes to a deal, yes to someone that might want to use your brand. I'll give you an example. We got in touch, Zara. You've probably come across Zara. I thought it was spam. Came from one of their head purchasing people in Spain. Ended up having this interview with these guys. This was probably 18 months ago. and they wanted us to make their hats for them. And they sold us the dream by putting our hats in every store.
Wow.
That's every Zara store online, blah blah blah. Which, yes, my eyes, like, it all sounded fantastic. And then, like, I was talking to my friend, to my business partner, and the deeper we got with it, the more we realized these guys, for lack of a better description, didn't give a shit about us.
Yeah.
They were. It was like, it's fast fashion to a whole new level, which is something we try and avoid because we're trying to be as sustainable as we can.
Yeah.
And they didn't, like, we were trying to push, like, using some recycled materials and stuff like that, and they said, no, we just want you to give us your cheapest product. They're just trying to smash us down on the prices. And, like, on one hand, yes, it would be amazing. We'd have our Fractel tags on there around the world, but it wasn't how we wanted it to be displayed. And, like, it could have worked potentially, but we figured there were more cons than pros, and there's a big chance to ruin us as well.
Yeah, well, with no's come yeses as well, because you told me recently. Do you have a branding deal, or you've recently done some deals with Redbull? Was it? Or
yeah, that was another, like, semi-pinch me moment where, like, you get the email come through from head of marketing at Redbull, and you're like, oh geez, is that another spam email? Or
was this a yes? Was this a yes story or a no story?
This is a yes story. Yeah.
Yeah.
It aligned. No, it aligned with us. So partnering with Redbull coming up, like, so we're like the official headwear partner for the Redbull Defiance, which is like an awesome event. Some big players come to those. Wow. It's in our lane. So yeah, it's been really cool to network with those guys, pick up some free Redbull, and make some hats for them. So yeah, it's, everything comes at a cost, but it's the fact that they reached out and wanted us to be involved and trusted us, and we found value in the partnership together. Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, you talk about, you've said it a fair few times, others have reached out to us. Like, you've hardly, it sounds like more comes to you than you going to it. And I feel like, this is just me thinking out loud. Like, I think it's all the things you may have sown along the way, and said no to, built your own lane. This is our marketing. This is what we stand for. This is who we aren't.
Yes.
Is probably more important than who we are sometimes.
Yeah.
And staying true to who you are and your community. But yeah, like, it takes tremendous, I guess, discipline almost.
Yeah, definitely.
To be able to do that. Good on you, man.
Yeah, well, just everything from, like, there's obviously those sponsor deals and stuff like that, but then also just in terms of your product, like finding, like, really working out what you want to do, and people might say, oh, why don't you do your t-shirts? Why don't you do your water bottles? Why don't you do your stickers? And like, just saying, like, patience is another key thing. Yes, we've had no choice to be patient because cash flow and things like that. But honestly, like, we could have sold some water bottles or something like that. But no, that's not where we're at the moment. And just say no to those opportunities as well, which brings more yeses, because
I love listening to everything you're saying, man, because it goes against almost the ethos of who I am. Like, everything I'm in with. I'm the growth hacker. I'm the one who,
I know,
I figure it out, and I'm like, oh, how do we grab this and then leverage this and make this work, and not trick, but like, but just hearing the balance of, hey, let's just be true. Let's just be truthful, and let's just, I don't know, be who we are. What's that?
It's funny, exactly when you asked for the interview, I was just like, oh man, like, I'm not sure what to provide, because I don't know if it's just because I've been a bit, like, I'm inexperienced at the start, and I don't know about growth hacks and what's out there, and maybe it's whether it's a blessing in disguise, or it's missing out on a huge chunk of the pie, where we're still learning. So who knows?
Yeah, no, I think you should keep doing what you're doing, man. It's awesome. I genuinely think you could probably do what you're doing just on scale in a way. So that would be That's what I'd probably say. But in a way, so the longer I'm in this game of digital marketing, the more I realize that it's the most important number. If you're looking at numbers, you're probably not always looking at numbers, or maybe you are, but the most important number is actually LTV, the lifetime value number. Like how, like someone coming back and buying from you over and over and over again, not sale 1, sale 2, it's actually sale 4, 5, 7, 10.
Yeah.
Because if you can actually focus on those numbers, you've actually got a business. You've got something you can sell. You've got a proper business. You've de-risked a lot. Like when you know that, hang on, no, we might be selling these today, but we're going to sell this tomorrow because of what we've done today. And all that's so important. And like hearing what you've been doing is not probably what I would have suggested back in the day. But now I'm like, man, this is gold. This is the stuff that people need to actually hear, is doing the grunt work. And you've actually growth hacked in a way. You've growth hacked community. You're like, I'm going to just direct response, do the hard yards, and like I'll send them 5, it'll turn into 10, and then it'll turn into 15. But it's less salesy and it's more brand driven in a way.
You've nailed it.
Love it.
Do what works for you.
We've talked about a few things today. What's next? Where are we going with Fractel? What's the next growth phase of Fractel?
Definitely. Like just in the last couple of weeks, we picked up a sales agent in the US. He just in the last couple of weeks, he sent through orders for 3 new retailers. So that's really exciting. That's 3 retailers we haven't had before in the US market. So basically we really want to focus this year on, now we've got a bit more time up my sleeve on building out the brand outside of Australia. Like there's always more to do here. Don't get me wrong. When we get the resources, we'll keep doing what we're doing here. But
you guys are the big players here. You're actually the big guys, aren't you?
Oh, it depends which way you're looking at it, but yes. We want to transfer this, across and find out if we, can grow the brand across there, and whether that's a couple of trips over there, go to some events. I think that's it's a whole new space, a whole new world. So we want to expand that way across.
Exciting, man. Cool. Well, thanks, Steve, for chatting about that. I wanted to jump into your website. We talked about it before. Maybe do some tips and tricks. I've never done this before on an interview.
No,
please don't be offended.
I'll, before you rip into it, I will say this is this when you say things for 2022. A revamp of the website is very high on the priority, because this is what we've had since day one, and sure we've tweaked the words or whatever, but the actual layout and the product description, all that's the same. And the more I speak to you and the more I read, the more I realize it's not up to scratch. So let's rip it apart.
All right, let's do it. I can't get into every single thing right now, but
no.
We can just start. I'll show people how I think. One thing I will say before I say that, before I jump into this, is that you've actually been really successful without what I'm about to do. And that's really cool. And that's something people should know, is that like, this is not, you shouldn't just focus on all the hacks and optimizing your website. Like the stuff that you're doing has already, like, it's made your brand successful. This is like the cream on top. This is how you, this is optimizing your website for sales and things like that. If you can build a real brand, and people actually genuinely want your product, you can have a pretty rubbish website, to be honest. It doesn't even matter. Kudos to you, man, for doing everything you've done so far. All right, so I'll just jump straight into it. First things. So I've looked at your website before, right? And what I've noticed is that it is quite different, the layout and the theme that you've chosen. Very visual, like you can see here, it's all very visual. In the way it works. But one thing I suggest a lot of people do when they're building their website is to actually not get too creative with design, like the actual framework, because people are already used to a certain style of e-commerce store. They're already used to it, and they want to, people at the end of the day, what you want to do is get people, teach people about the product, maybe the problems that the product solves, or all the unique selling propositions and everything like that. You want to get all that information to them and then help them get to the checkout. That's literally like, that's the goal, is just get them to the product, sell the product, and then get them to the checkout. That's literally it. And it's not to showcase a million different things and go all over the place. And that's why I think a lot of time it's important to just choose a pretty simple theme. There's a whole heap online, but you would have seen it. It's like just a big banner with like maybe one or two call to actions. I always like having one call to action, but two is fine. Sometimes it's just important to have two call to actions for different reasons. And also it's important to really speak about exactly what you're selling. You want people to be able to understand what you're selling and why they should buy it within like the first few seconds. Did you change this recently?
That's always been that. I changed the 50,000 happy customers and the Australian born thing from what you told me.
That's what you changed. Yeah, because we had a previous conversation. I'm like, man, how many customers have bought your stuff? 50,000 customers. I'm like, that should be like one of the biggest things, is like 50,000 strong community. Like you're all about like this Fractel community. Like that's almost like your biggest selling proposition. It's like 50,000 people are all in this thing together, kind of thing. So straight up, my advice would be like this here. I'm not an advocate for thin, small writing. If you almost have to squint or look a little bit, if it's a little hard to read, no one will read it. All people do now is they skim. Which you can use to your advantage. So what you want to do is just have all your things that you actually want people to read in headings. That's it. And just smack people in the face with headings. Be really in your face. It doesn't have to be super salesy. I'm just make it really clear. What I do like is that your wording is on a plain background. A lot of brands actually have the wording over the top of their lifestyle images, and you can't friggin' read a thing. Good on you, man. Australian born, globally worn. I like that. Trusted by, I definitely would make this like massive and loud. Cool. Now I'll scroll down a little bit. I won't go too far. New small cap silhouette, merino beanies. So what I normally suggest is just have your best sellers straight up here, because all you want to do is get people to the product that you want to sell. So if you've got a banner, you want to actually, if possible, this is desktop, so mobile will be completely similar, but a little bit different. You want to have the best sellers here, but still like visible a little bit. So it looks like, I'm going to scroll and see the best sellers straight up. Your product's not too hard to merchandise. So it'll be like your shop now button could be up here, or best sellers, like a collection. And then you just have them here, easy to add to cart straight away. And then underneath that, you could go into like new arrivals, or I guess more what you stand for and things like that. You guys are, hang on, I'm just having a look. What the heck? Coffee? You guys selling coffee?
We partnered with Slide Coffee the other day. That's one of our good collaboration. So that.
I love that. Oh, here we go. So this kind of thing. So I would pull all of this up just to hear somewhere. Okay. I'd pull a lot of all of this, because this is kind of the stuff that you want to get to straight away. It's new and all of this stuff. Try and bring it up a little bit higher and make it so people know exactly what the next step is, and also know what everyone else is buying. 50,000 people are buying these things. So I'm just going to click on shop now and see where we go. All right. So first thing, when I look at this page, I'm like, what did I click? Like, where's the products? Like what, I thought I'm shopping right now. Like there's no like, I don't want to be mean. Like this is just how people are thinking. I know it because I've done so many stores now. What you can do is still have like this little blurb. I'm telling you now, pretty much no one will read this. I'm like, I reckon 100% of people don't read this except for the owner.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Purely because of how small it is in one way.
Yeah.
But if it's really important and it's a selling kind of tool, you want to make it more readable. Or if it's SEO, you might not want to make it more readable.
Yeah.
But you want to put it up here. Just keep it small, and you can still have your banner if you want, but you want to be able to see straight away these products up here. Yeah. So that's just another little thing. So I'd bring these products up 100%.
Yeah.
That's just as simple as cutting this down. It's not too tricky. All when performance and style are combined, energies ensure Fractel hardware intends to bridge community. Blah, blah, blah. I'd also have probably maybe some like unique selling propositions, like what makes you guys unique up here somewhere, rather than just this is like kind of a vague story about sweet. So I'd try and hit them up here somewhere with what makes you guys unique in this all section. You could also change to like, what are people buying right now and why? Like, anyway, I'm going to come down here. So new, what is it that you sell the most of?
So for example, probably the top two sellers at the moment are the black and the sandy colored hat below where you are at the moment. Yeah, those two.
These two?
Solid colors always go well.
Yeah, cool. So what I would do first is actually make these loud, and like these should be the first things. If you want to actually make sales, you want you want to have these two up the top or in the most prominent positions, and you also want reviews. And I talked to you about this a little while ago. You've added reviews.
Yeah, only when you click the product. So I haven't put it anywhere else yet. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that's all right. And when you say new, I'd probably say bestseller, or like I'd probably change this to bestsellers. A lot of brands, what they do is they focus too much on new, which is still good. You want new to increase lifetime value and keep things exciting and everything like that. But if everyone is pretty much just buying the basics, make sure that the basics are the loudest thing, and the new is still there. Like if you want it. Always focus on the 20% that make you 80% of the revenue. You know what I mean? It's one of the business rules in the world. And this here, like the slide coffee thing, like is that a big seller, or is that like it's just another new thing? I'd put it somewhere if it's going to add credibility, but definitely focus on the big hitters. So I'm going to jump in on one of these. I like that. This peach hat's kind of cool. I don't know what the color that is, but it's cool. I'll jump on the basic one. Awesome. Here we go. 52 reviews. Awesome. So a lot of people go, they try and use all these really clever copy that sells and all these different things. And I think it's really important still to have copy or words, if you don't know what copy is. So words that really capitalize on your unique selling propositions and everything. But my laptop was just unplugged. But what you can do is have reviews loud and proud, and that's almost better than anything you can say. Your reviews, let your customers actually speak for you. So what I would do with you is find almost like an ambassador. Like if you could get someone from Redbull or something like that to be, maybe not an ambassador, but just get them to say one review, and you make that loud and put it somewhere. I guarantee people, like, it'll command like, it'll just make people buy straight away. They'll be like, oh man, like he's got it. Okay, well, these guys must be legit. I definitely make the reviews way more prominent. It's good that you've got them on there now. I'm just going to click down. This is good. But try and sprinkle them if you can throughout the rest of the site. Reviews, go away phone. Cool. Now I'm just going to come through here. Fractal ink, blah, blah, blah. Unrivaled performance, benefits, product details. I'd probably just simplify this as well into more of like drop downs. What do you call them? Tabs or whatever. Description tabs. Just condense it all and just mainly focus on like one paragraph that's like the crux of why this hat is bought by most people. Or what is the thing that makes this unique? That is why I want to have this hat. Needs to be sitting right here. And then you can condense all of this, because most people wouldn't, like, they will want to know it's there, but they don't have to read every single part of it.
No, I agree. Yeah.
So one thing that's a thing that comes up a lot in website optimization is just removing thoughts. Like, you don't want people to be scrolling around and looking at things and having too many options to read or to learn and everything like that. If you can just nail them on, hang on, this is the best hat for exactly what you want. Other people are buying it. This is all these people agree that you should probably have this hat. Add it to your cart and buy it now. And you've got the power of community, which is really cool. So you can play around with that a lot. That community aspects. Also, you could even put clubs all on these. I definitely would say, if you get permission, put the clubs on the website. That'll establish credibility as well. In the space. Now I'm just going to scroll down. Most of this isn't too important the more you go down the page. I do like to remove like a lot of this stuff, condense it right down.
That's very old.
Just condense it all. Even remove things that you don't need. Like, something that a lot of people are doing now is actually removing Instagram and Facebook and all of this stuff, because it's taking you away from the website. Rule of thumb is never send someone away. If you're trying to get them to buy something, just keep them there and try and answer all of their questions. You could also have frequently asked questions in this section here somewhere. You would know a lot of them, and those frequently asked questions, a lot of the time, they're actually benefits as well of your product. So like, why is our product better than others? And the other one that I've seen work really well with products that are, I guess, already well known and out there, is a comparison, side by side comparison. So your hat, other hats, or I've seen this done with wetsuits really well. And I'm not even a wetsuit person. Someone just sent it to me. I'm like, man, that is freaking brilliant. So it's not about sledging other brands. It's just it's basically putting all your unique selling propositions, why you are awesome, basically. You know it all, and putting that all here, and then next to it, just as long as you can make that list really long for you and not as long for the other person, which I'm sure you can. Like, your products are really unique. You'd crush it, I reckon, a comparison here. Because if I'm looking for a hat, I'm probably looking around a bit for a hat. So all of these tips and tricks are for a person who isn't necessarily sold on Fractal yet. I'm sure most people who shop on your site, coming from your community world, aren't shopping around. They already know they want Fractal. This is for a person who is on the sidelines over in America thinking about Fractal. And they're like shopping around like, oh, these guys are Australian? I don't even know if you want to make it that known that you're Australian. Who knows?
Well, that's a good point. I was literally just tossing up to buy. So these reviews, you obviously need to have the app installed on, like, we've got the 3 other websites. So I'm like, to be honest, the reviews are probably more valuable on the other websites. So I probably should install it over there and you can transfer the reviews across, because they're the ones that need to see it.
Yeah, we've done that. I worked with a store that turning over millions, like a ton of. They got a ton of customers, right? But and they've got their own big community as well. But that's exactly what they did. They built a US site, and they just pulled all of their Aussie reviews over to the US. Instantly had credibility. When you looked at the site, you're like, holy flip! How have they not known these guys? They've got like 20,000 reviews and blah blah blah. But definitely try and pull them over if you can, if you're able to. Using, what did you use for this?
This was what was it I was looking at this morning? Sorry.
Judge Me or Yotpo?
Judge Me. Yeah.
Judge Me is good. That's one of the I'd recommend. They're actually a good price point and good at what they do. Sweet, man. So that's a fair few tips here. I'd also here we go. You got photos here. Okay. I didn't actually see this
Okay.
as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
some feedback. Like I didn't know I could really scroll and hit these tiny little arrows.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if I don't see that, I dare say most people wouldn't, unless they really go searching for it. I would have gone searching for it next, and I probably would have found it. But you want to make it really obvious for people.
Yeah.
So yeah, and your product is very lifestyle driven. So I probably would have more photos down here as well, if possible.
Yeah.
The new Shopify 2.0 theme that's come out, I think it's got like a really big display for photos as you scroll down. It looks kind of cool. Might work for you. Sweet. So that's kind of what I got at the moment. Also, if you could, the other thing you could do, is there certain like builds and things that make that product unique? Like, is it like airflow in the hat or something like that?
I was wondering, like whether we've got like little icons and stuff that show that like more graphically rather than having a jumble of words, like whether that would be of value.
Oh, 1000%, man. People don't read.
No.
Hardly read. You just got to show them. Don't tell them. And like you can do the whole like almost like a GIF. It's like like the hat and like something flowing through it, or or the design, like us versus them, and it's like like your hat's in a different shape, or it feels bendy, or something a little bit unique versus the other guys are out there. But yeah, I definitely look at I guess trying to make that more visual here. And people will jump on it. Honestly, I'm super proud of you for actually crushing it the way you have without even going into any of this stuff. It's so good.
Yeah, thank you. Well, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, 100%, man. This is another thing I noticed at the top here. So you got your banner, free 100 grams, limited edition coffee included in all orders over $80, but it changes. Anti-caps 3 for 125. There's another thing, free Oz shipping. So I dare say that, well, that's really confusing to me. What you want to do is probably put 1% of all sales. Like these are epic USP things that could probably sit on the page somewhere as like little banners or logos, or I don't know. You can do it visually. And normally I just have at the top one of two things. You do probably this is a good offer, any 3 caps for $125. How do they do that? How do they get that?
So once you add your 3 caps to the cart, it'll half the price of the.
So do I have to add anything else, like a coupon or anything? Or
no, that's an automatic
awesome.
one. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. I'd almost think about removing learn more as well. And just making it really clear, like any 3 caps today, $125 at checkout or something. You've got to be really clear, like the money will be saved at the checkout. If possible. And also free shipping. This needs to be loud and clear. So I normally have free shipping at the top. So people just know. Free shipping on orders over $99. People just need to know that there's free shipping, and I wouldn't change that too much. And I'd try and I'm just thinking, sorry. I'd put the free shipping at the top. And then that $125 for 3 caps. I don't know. You might want to put it on a banner as well at the top or something, but you don't want them to change. You don't want people to get lost and get confused. Just make them loud. Cool, man. I'll add to cart. Sweet. So we're at the cart. This is simple, nice shopping cart. Checkout, boom, not too many distractions. One thing I will say is it would be awesome if you had this epic like monster cart that pops out the side of the screen and makes you more money as you get to the checkout.
I'm missing money. I know.
I'll hook you up later. It's all good. So this is good still. It's simple. It's not going to take anyone anywhere. This is great. Checkout, easy. A lot of people just kind of overcomplicate this stuff. But I'm missing out on an opportunity to increase your average order value. You could say something like add 2 more to get the $125. You know what I mean? You might want to put that banner somewhere in the cart. But sweet. And then checkout, I imagine that goes straight to checkout.
Yeah.
Cool, man. And also I put reviews there too. Like you just want like
at the cart section or
like it doesn't have to be like with an app. It could be almost like it could be like how many people have bought your product. You could put that there, 50,000 people, 50,000 happy customers, or just you just want some kind of trust building here as well, if possible. As I said, everything I've said isn't necessary. Like you're still going to make sales. You're still doing well. Man. Oh, that's it. I've got a recording for you. So
no, thank you. I'll jump back on. I'm sure when the time comes to update this website, we'll make a few of those changes.
Awesome, man. And I do like you've got search up here. I just wanted to click on that and see what the go is. I do like to have like an example of what to search up here. Like all I'm going to type is hat because I don't know what to search for. Bucket, new article. Oh, sweet. Is that good? Yeah. No, it was you extracted a few. I hope it's of some value. Like I don't have too many nuggets of gold, but just I don't know. I've just been like you said, just grinding, doing the hard yards, and perhaps that's been the secret to success. I think it's grinding and sticking to your lane for when you find something that works, just run with it. Even if it's not the conventional way of doing it, you're definitely outside of the conventional way in digital marketing. But I love it. I think that's definitely going to be some value for some people who there's a lot of businesses that are kind of struggling in this environment of money in, money out, advertising not working as well as it used to.
No, that's right. Well, I think, it probably could, like when you put it like that, because people aren't seeing the return on like with the ads changing and things like it's for a small business, it's nice to know that direct messaging and things like that actually can return. Like it doesn't have to be fancy or expensive. Could be a good way to get started. So I would have appreciated like reframing it like that. Yeah, I probably would have appreciated this conversation on day one,
That's why we're doing it.
Exactly.
Hopefully someone's listening to this.
Exactly.
100%, man.
No, thanks 100%. For asking. It was looking forward to I'll watch it back or something and see how horrible you sound.
Learn from yourself. Awesome. Honestly, thank you big time for your time today, mate.
No, pleasure. Sorry it took so long to make it happen, but we got there.
We got there. It's all good. I genuinely appreciate it. Is there anywhere, like if anyone wants to buy your hats and everything like that, they go to Fractel, right? Just our website, fractel.com.au, and our social media at Fractel Running. You'll find us and slide into the DMs and you'll probably 99.9% chance I'll reply to you. That's awesome. And if you got Redbull reaching out, if Nike's listening to this, maybe they talk to you, they just send you an email, right? Just
send me an ordinary email and I'm sure I'll get back to it.
Awesome. Thanks, man. I've really appreciate it. I've got links down below for anything that we've talked about today and Matt's site and everything. Cool. Thanks heaps. Legend.
Thanks, Ty.